Hello, welcome to the Tech Cave. My name is RJ, and today the video is a quick insight review to the Saitek X56 HOTAS. Okay, so I got this purely really because this is my old joystick, which is Saitek, which is slightly worrying because well, this died on me. The buttons, when you were pressing one button, it was activating two buttons at the same time. And becoming unplayable. Now I've owned this for about 18 months or so not particularly a great amount of time, so it did worry me a little bit to go for another Saitek product, and there has been reported a few issues with the X55 and also the X56 possibly, with some of the wiring on this baby here, because when you open it up inside, the wires aren't ideally kind of bound together, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that's not going to happen. I'm sure there are loads and loads of people who have got these and reporting good things about them, so I thought I'd just do a quick review because I've been using this now for a couple of weeks. Thought I'd put this up. So there's the box that it comes with, and I didn't really feel like I wanted to go for a HOTAS at all. Put the box away. I don't want to just look at the box, because I was quite happy with my old joystick. It did have a throttle on the side, had a reasonable amount of buttons on it for you to assign to different things, and it was okay. It kind of did the job. Plus also from my PP8 flying days, I've got the quadrant as well, which is excellent, and trim wheel, which is fantastic if you do any flight simming. Not quite so good for the space flight sim stuff, but great for flight sims, sort of real world flight sims. So I was happy with the old joystick, as I say, but it died. So decided to go for a pretty decent upgrade to this combo, which has just got an absolute plethora of dials and switches, and nice. They feel real nice, solid switches. God, there's a lot of hats on this, like switches, hats, and little mini joysticks down here. There's loads of them, absolutely tons. Probably really more than you ever really need for any game. I'm sure, like Star Citizen, you can probably use everything on it, but I haven't really got into great detail as yet. So I don't think you're going to be wanting for any more once you've got one of these. So it's great, it feels nice, it's really nice feeling grip. The buttons on here, they're quite spaced apart and are difficult to reach up to when you're holding these. You have to move your hand up to kind of get to these. You've got the point of view, which I have to kind of move my hand up. I mean, I haven't got the biggest hands, but they're not that small. I imagine somebody with slightly smaller hands would really struggle with these. So this is a little bit on the large size. It could have been a bit closer to that further down, or possibly whether you could move this grip up a little bit. I don't know. So you held it a little bit higher up here to get your thumb on these buttons, because reaching up for that button you have to reach up. And if you're playing in VR, you're kind of feeling around for these buttons. So this, I think, should have been just made slightly smaller, or the option to change that. You can change the stiffness of the spring, how this alters, which is brilliant, because on my old joystick I didn't like how stiff it was, and I was trying to lessen the tension by sort of putting stuff around it to like try and pull the spring up. It never really worked very well. I didn't do a great job of it, to be fair, but this is great. This comes with, I think, sort of 4 different settings, and I went for not the lightest but quite a light grip, so it doesn't feel like it's hard to move and then all of a sudden it goes. It kind of feels fairly progressional, which is nice, and you can tailor it to however you feel. This is a little add-on plate here that kind of your palm can sit on, which is quite this, I don't know, increases the size. It's quite nice and ergonomic, and sort of your hand can rest on that, which is great. But if you sit this up on the desk, it's too high and your hand kind of cuts into it. So therefore you need to mount this a little bit lower down off the desk, or as I'll show you in a minute, on the chair, so it's a little bit lower down. So to be able to take that off altogether, I think would be a nice thing, because if you're on a desk, that's in your way, and I don't think, without starting to unscrew pieces, you can actually take that off, which is a bit annoying, because if you wanted this a bit higher on the desk and you wanted your hand to come down, that it gets a bit annoying after a while. So yep, good joystick. Throttle, a mixture, so you can have these separated or jointed together. As I said, loads of switches. I think you can adjust the tension on this on here to make it a little bit easier to move up and down, or stiffen it up slightly. I don't know. No, does that do anything? Doesn't seem to do a great deal. Or is that another switch on the side? No, I don't think it is. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of tension coming in there. So yeah, so they're pretty sizable, hefty bits of kit to have. You've got these mounting holes here to fix it onto a system if you're going to permanently put it somewhere. Although I like to put these like away. I don't have them out all the time, because I'm not always gaming all the time, and I'm not using a flight sim all the time. So to be able to quick mount these would be a nice feature to add some way of quick mounting. So I haven't come up with something as yet to do a quick mount, but I should be looking into that. Yeah, so really good. Downsides is that you can't quick mount them. They're very slippy on the underside. You've got these rubbery feet here, but this bit is very slippery. So on this one I've actually put on a bit of kind of acoustic padding that's made this less slippery where I've mounted it on the chair. Yeah, so we'll go to, so that, yeah, I recommend it as being a very good joystick, a good HOTAS. It's not as highly priced as the Thrustmaster one, but it's still a fair sum. But I think for what you get on it, it's, you know, it feels pretty solid sort of kit, and as long as it lasts well, then it's all good. So moving on to the mounting. Let me just move this round. Excuse the strenuous. So here, I don't know if you can see this, I shall bring these up so you can see. So these here are mounted actually on the chair itself, on the swivel chair. These are VESA mounts, or VESA mounts for screen, that are pole mounts. So if you just look at pole mount VESA bracket, so these basically just clamp round the seat, and you can rotate these out the way. And as I said, I haven't come up with a way of permanently, I don't want to permanently fix these on here, because otherwise I can't get it under the desk, and that's not good. They don't seem to get too much in the way, although you can sort of turn them round and off to the side, and you can angle these obviously up and down to wherever you want. So they're at a nice height. They're that much lower down than the desk, so they're a little bit higher up that that this isn't an issue. So it's great if you're in VR, because you've got it mounted to the chair. So if you're in Star Citizen or in Flight Simulator, quite often when you're going into VR, the position where you are is never right. And I found this especially with Project Cars as well, is when you go in, you're never quite centered, and you can set a recentering button, but even that, it never quite centers you right. So you're always just moving around a little bit in your chair. So if you've got this attached to your chair, everything's moving with it. So decided to get that mount system in there. So that's yeah, I saw somebody put that up on a video, and I thought that's a cracking idea, and it works really well. The only thing is, if somebody's got any ideas on it, the only way that I've come up with it is that I've got one of these workbench clamps, which I'm just kind of clamping the side underneath onto the mount itself as kind of like a quick release. It's not 100%. You feel like there is a little bit of movement in the base there, and if you really crank over the joystick, then or certainly this, that will just come off the chair. So as I say, I need to look at something to possibly utilise these holes, really, something that you can do. I did think about one of those latching bolts out like you have on the front of a mountain bike, but they're always much longer, so whether I can get those threaded down, I don't know. Anyway, so if anybody's got any ideas on that, I would welcome those in the comments. But there you go. That's my review on this HOTAS system, and also the mounting for it on your chair. Hope that's been of some use to anybody out there. But I give the X56 a thumbs up. It's got more buttons than you can shake a stick at. Never really been sure about that saying, shaking a stick at something, but there we go. I don't think you're going to run out of buttons or dials or knobs or twiddly things that you can assign stuff to more than you need. And the software that runs with it seems to run fairly seamlessly. Drivers and all that, I haven't had any problems with them whatsoever. So, okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it's for help to you. This is the Tech Guide. My name is RJ. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye-bye.